Hey guys, welcome to Ring Still TV. Today is episode 13 in our $500 1,000 yard steel elk challenge. Hey guys, welcome back to Ring Still TV. Today we're going to be shooting those loads from our last video where we determined which charge weights we wanted to go after. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be going to the bench here in just a minute and we're going to take a look at these loads. Hey YouTube, welcome back to Ring Still TV. We are at the bench, and first thing I wanted to talk about, I know it's been a couple weeks since we shot this gun. A lot has gone on in the last couple weeks in my life. What I would tell you guys is that the biggest issue I've had is my computer completely took a dump on me. So it took me a week to kind of get this computer situated. I finally got it set up the other day, so sorry about the delay on getting the video up on this gun again. The other thing that happened is that I was doing a podcast about 2 weeks ago, and my co-host asked me at the time, he said, "Steve, what happens if you run multiple Satterlee tests? Do you get the same results?" And the short answer is that you will get very similar results, and you should get the same results. So my experience has been in the past, if you're in a node, those nodes should kind of line up. And if you're outside of a node, you'll see variations in the speed of the bullet. So that's where you'll have some variations, but generally it should pick the same deal. So what I wanted to show you guys here is I decided to rework my spreadsheet to include up to 3 groups of 10 on the Satterlee. And what this spreadsheet does is you go and you shoot your 10, you can go back and shoot another 10. You see I've shot another 10 here. It's going to go in and plot the highs and the lows for each of those groups. And then it's going to draw you a line here for the average. And then what we found out, if you'll remember in our original video, I think 77.4 is kind of where we ended up in the first video I ran. As we did the second round of shooting, we actually ended at 77.8 is our lowest 3G 3 group standard deviation. We still have 78.8 on here, and our extreme spread is about 23. And what I want to point out on these is if you look at this, what it's calculating is all of these 9 shots here is what would be building the standard deviation. So from 77.6 through 78.0 and all 9 of these shots, I only shot 6, so it's only calculating these 6, but if we did shoot this a third time, it would put those calculations in. That's what's getting the standard deviation number here. And then the other item is here on the 3 group extreme spread. It is the same thing. It's going to use the same 9 to calculate the extreme spread. So over the course of firing these more, you'll get better data and you'll figure out where your nodes are. You can see it selected 78.8, which is one that we had already isolated before, and now it's saying that 77.8 should be our better one. So what I did is I actually went out and shot the 77.8 and the 78.8, and let's go to the range now and we'll take a look at it. Hey guys, welcome back to Ring Still TV. We are back here on the range, and I'm getting ready to load or shoot some groups with the 77.8 and also the 78.8 that we identified from last episode. So let's kind of see how we're doing here. All right, that's the first 5. We'll shoot the next group. These will be 78.8. Let's give the barrel just a chance to cool down and we'll get started on those. Okay guys, it's been about 5 minutes. The barrel's cooled down. We're gonna go ahead and shoot this next group. This is 78.8. Center. All right guys, so there we go. We've shot 77.8, 78.8. We'll go back and take a look at what our speeds look like. Here on my last shot, it looks like I was at 3,007 feet per second. So let's get all this data. We'll go to the bench and take a look at it. All right, guys, so we're back here from the field, and we're going to take a look at these groups. So that first group that I shot, which was 77.8, ended up like this. This was a 1.62 MOA group. You know, maybe we can improve it some with bullet seating depth. It looks like it's kind of got a horizontal spread to it. Might be something we want to look at. Kind of a disappointing group. Actually, both of these groups are very disappointing. The second group was the 78.8, and this is what we ended up with this. This is a 1.81 MOA, and yeah, again, very disappointing. This one might be a little bit worse in the fact it looks like it's got some flyers in there, whereas the first one looks like it's just more maybe a seating depth issue. So guys, it's got me to thinking, and you know, this is episode 13, so surely everything's going to go haywire on this gun on me, and I'm going to start trying all kinds of crazy stuff. So what happened with these two groups, I got to thinking, it's just not, it doesn't feel like it's shooting as good as it should be shooting. I knew from the very beginning we were going to have a seating depth issue, and it is a long jump. I mean, right now these bullets are seated at 0.1 off the lands, so 100 thousandths off the lands. I'm going to start working that back a little bit just to see if we get any improvement, but still the groups, it feels like the groups should be better than they are. So it got me to thinking, well, maybe I've got an issue with the scope, or maybe I've got an issue with the muzzle brake. Maybe shooting it off the bipod, there's something going on with the rifle. Maybe the bedding was jacked up. I don't know. So what I did is I went back over the gun. I pulled the action off, rechecked all the torque and everything, checked the bedding. The bedding looks really good. I think I've got another probably 30 or 40 rounds on this gun since we checked the bedding last. No issues with the bedding. All the free floating still good. I validated that the barrel doesn't have any marks on it from hitting the stock, so that all looks really good. All the cap screw torques were still the same, and all the receiver bolts were still the same. The action screws were still the same torque. So nothing's come loose on the gun from that perspective. I went back and I shot it some more. And what I did is I wanted to try first just to see if maybe the bipod was doing anything. So I took the bipod off and I put it on a regular bench rest that I have, a Caldwell rest, and shot it. At the same time, I also pulled the magneto speed. And I did a group of 5 to see if any one of those two could be causing, you know, those groups to open up. I've never had an issue with the magneto speed changing the group size. I have always had an issue with the magneto speed changing the group location. So with the magneto speed off, this gun shot significantly. Let me see. With the magneto speed off, the gun shoots lower. With it on, it shoots higher. And so wherever that magneto speed is clocked, so in my case I always set it straight down, it always shoots higher in the opposite direction. So if it's straight down, then it's going to shoot high. If I put the magneto speed on the top, it'll shoot low. And it was about 1.5 mil difference in height, but the group sizes didn't change with the magneto speed on and off, or the bipod on and off, or going to the rest. So no issues there. And then I decided I was going to do something really stupid and shoot a group with the muzzle brake off. Guys, I've got a video right here. I want y'all to see it. Okay, guys, rifle's cooled down. I'm going to shoot at the lower right target now without the muzzle brake. Oh. Guys, holy smokes. Woo! That is at least twice as hard kicking. Oh. That is just painful. Oh. 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 Man, that hurts. Oh. Oh. All right, let's go take a look at it. So you can see that muzzle brake, it is doing a lot of work because it it was really bad. I have to tell you guys, I was sore for a couple days, and that was only 5 rounds with the muzzle brake off. Anyway, no differences with the muzzle brake on or off. And so my last thing, I wanted to try a different scope. So I put a known good scope on here, shot another group of 5 with a known group scope, known good scope, and all my groups were the same. I was still getting the same basic group. So nothing was, I felt like, was going on with the gun. So that's kind of where we're at. I validated that everything else with the gun seems to be performing okay. So I think we're just either with a bullet that this gun really doesn't like, or perhaps we've got a seating depth issue, which we'll go and look at it. So guys, what I think I'm going to do from this point on is I want to continue load development on this, but I think I want to do this as part of just reloading, as opposed to continuing on with episode 14, 15, 16, and continue doing load development specifically for this series. And I think what we'll do is we'll do the load development as part of just reloading in general for the 300 Win Mag TC Compass, and do a playlist on that. And then once we've got a group that's kind of settled in and working, I think we'll come back and we'll shoot our final groups with this and close out this this series. So that's kind of what I want to do. Nothing's going to change as far as the format and all that. I'll continue to do the load development. We'll continue to look at it. If I feel like I need to tweak something on the gun, I'll put up another episode 14 that's specific to this gun for a tweak that we do. But I feel like this gun's in the final build that it's going to be in until we shoot our final test to see if we're going to hit 1,000 yards and hit that without dropping any over 3 shots. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to just start a reloading series. And I think what I'm going to do, give me just a second. Let me get some stuff. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to, I bought all these powders to try in this gun. We've got 4350, which is it's going to be a pretty fast burning powder for this. And then I've selected another powder that's a little bit slower, but kind of on the very low end would be this H1000. This would probably be our lowest burning powder. If my memory serves me right, I think Reloader 23 sits between 4350 and 4831 shortcut. So I wanted to try this 48131 shortcut, Reloader 23, and then we're still working with the H1000. The other thing I did is I got these these are the Elite Hunter 205 grain 30 cal bullets. This is a new bullet that they've got out. I also want to try this. So I think what we're going to do, starting with the next episode, and we're just going to recall it a reloading on the 300 Win Mag, is I'm going to take the same bullet that we've been using, which is the Nosler 190 grain AccuBond long range, and this Elite Hunter. So we're going to take 2 of those, and then we're going to take the 1 powder. And I'm going to shoot both the Burgers and the Nosler AccuBond long range with a single powder. So we'll do a workup on both of those. We'll do the Satterlees at the same time. We'll do the 5-shot groups at the same time. And that's only in an effort to kind of speed this up. Let's try 2 bullets, 1 powder. And then the next episode, we'll try 2 bullets and another powder. And then the same thing. And we'll kind of work through each of these powders and each of these 2 bullets and see if we can find something a little bit faster rather than just working with 1 bullet. So that's what I think we'll do from here on out. That way we just get more information at the same time. So guys, I think that's where we're going to go. So if you're following this series, I really appreciate, we're getting really close to 100 subscribers, which I think is phenomenal. I never would have expected 100 people to find any of this interesting or any of the other videos that I'm doing interesting. And I really appreciate all my supporters that are on the site currently. So thank you all for that. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave those below. Please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, happy shooting.